Thank goodness it didn't have any
Things.
fluids on it.
Thankfully.
Why didn't we record?
Great.
Why didn't that would have been
Alright, everything is hard?
like, I mean, we just started. I'm not really
We're going. We're going.
Oh, alright, well, this is this is going to be a live recording of the Furcast here at Aquatifur 2021, and I forgot their names already. I have three amigos. Vegas at Vegas over here.
Good evening.
So,
Vegas.
yeah, this is, we had like 15 minutes of technology issues and delays, so yeah, this is going to be very, very fun. We got tons of stories for you. So, my fellow degenerates, you are free to introduce yourself and go down the line from left to right. So, your left, left, stage right, down to stage left. Let's do that. Everything okay? Okay. We got it. All right, so let's.
Hopefully we're not working out the kinks, but my name is Yeski the Husky, and our impromptu technical director over here for this podcast is hopefully going to introduce himself in a second.
Yes, hello, I am Lucas. I am the man who's turned on audio. This has been quite the experience trying to set up. Passing it to you.
I'm Rain. I'm gonna just hear, I guess.
Does anybody? I just wanted to point out that
We have some clicking.
yeah, there's clicking.
Ouch! No. That was almost
What
bad.
is with that? Hey, what am I?
Yeah, if you turn it back down.
Yeah.
We're trying to dial it in.
Oh,
Here we go.
there we go. It's fixed
think
now.
we got
Oh,
it.
shoot, This is just like, this is going to need a lot of editing.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be one very long, it's going to be one very short. Okay, so this is going to be obviously age restricted on YouTube when this is finally uploaded. So, yeah, so that's going to be on. So I guess, I guess the first thing we can talk about is basically con itself so far. I've only been here one day, and excuse us if you can hear any music in the background because we got booked right above the rave. So that is a great plus. So yeah, we're just gonna start with the con itself. Like, I mean, I was just here for like a day so far. You guys have more experience, especially with, like, especially Venus down there, who was here the first, and probably.
You mean right here? Right by you. I was here first.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
All right, so I guess we're gonna. Sorry, Dingus. We're gonna go to Vegas over here. So yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah. So you're gonna. Yeah. So the con the resort at Chula Vista. I've been here for at the Wilderness Resort for 10 years, I think, in a row. I've always gone here in the winter. So this is definitely a new experience for me. But yeah, so walk through your debacle of basically getting here in the first place.
Well, this is not my first time in the Dells. I have been to the Dells before, but only to Mount Olympus, which is a few miles away from here. I should mention that the Dells refers to Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, which is where this is being hosted, where we are speaking. So I come from a few hours up north, so it's not too much of a drive. Just like near Wausau, Rhinelander. And getting here wasn't too bad. I left a little bit after 1 p.m. and got here sometime around 4:30. So I had time to do a few things, but no one else did because the next people who got here a few hours later. So I guess my cornhole. Guess who lost first round?
You suck ass at it.
Yes, I do. I am actually bad at cornhole. But I was also playing in a diagonal since I'm right-handed and I was on the right side of I was on the right side of the box. So I was throwing at a diagonal, so I was a bit of a disadvantage. Though I was also against a fursuiter, so I suppose it balances out. Though apparently the suit was actually doing better in suit than out of suit.
The life's mysteries it will resolve. So, I guess we'll have to Wingus and Dingus over there.
Alright, yeah, you're the one who drove.
8, I think-ish. I don't know when you guys specifically arrived. All I know is that some type of dominoes type of stuff happened.
They got here around 7:30.
Well, alright, we'll soon be, okay?
Alright. So, yeah, we got here at about 7:30-ish, and since you're the one who drove, James, you get to tell the story.
Okay, so like I said, getting here took about 5 hours, but because there was a time change, we ended up arriving 4 hours after we left, which for those of you who haven't experienced that, it is exactly as disorienting as it sounds.
It's not how time works. You travel a distance. You don't travel back in time, but you travel different times.
I mean, I'm just saying, it is mildly disorienting, but knowing where I was going to be going, I just changed the clock back before I left. But getting there, it wasn't that bad. That was at least until it started to get dark and I was on like unlit country roads. I did get a little bit of a grace period, actually a bit of a grace period on, what road was it? Was it I-90?
Yeah, it was I-90.
No, it was 51. On 51. While I was heading down, that was about 130 miles, maybe a little more, on just straight up interstate. But then we started going on these weird county roads, which for whatever reason are lettered and not numbered. Wisconsin is weird like that. Except, I want to say, 260 miles into the drive, we were like 80% of the way, no, almost 90% of the way here, and I almost hit a deer, and I'm like, if I make it this, after everything I've gone through to try and get to this con, I'm a student, I'm taking the weekend off for this. If I hit a deer and just ruin everything and have to find a tow truck in just here, I don't even know if I had a signal at this point, it's not going to be a very, very good time. Now, we did end up making it in one piece, thankfully, and we eventually had come in, and of course it was just me, Lucas, and Rain over on the far left. What are you doing? So that was the story of getting here. Fairly uneventful, apart from the fact that I almost got into an accident with a deer that couldn't decide whether or not it wanted to cross the road, which brought me to a stop. So if you have anything you want to add, go ahead, or else maybe we can go on after we checked in.
I mean, there's honestly not too much else to add aside from the fact that I attempted to watch Marvel movies during the drive. Full blast.
Scare the shit out of me on multiple
Which
occasions.
ones?
Yes.
Which ones?
Good question. Captain America, Civil War, and a little bit of Shang-Chi.
Okay, the only characters that I know are Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Thanos, or people call him the Big Break.
That's an interesting 3 to know exclusively.
That is a very interesting 3 to know.
It seems like the lights are having a bit of a seizure.
Well, do any of us have epilepsy? Like, open question?
No.
Okay, we're good.
We'll be fine. This thing will keep going even in the dark.
So this day, I of course arrived last with this whole thing. I woke up at 6:20, so like right around when I would wake up for school before I graduated, and so then it was the one highlight from that drive was like when I was passing, like a car was passing me, and you know how those like those times where you just like look over at the driver, like at the other driver to see like if like you know that they're like giving you the finger or something like that. You're just curious or something. Well, the passenger of that car had the same idea, and we just locked gaze for a second, and they kept their head like turned all the way around for that whole time, and I could just see the little smile on their face, like we both knew that was happening. But yeah, that's like I do have to agree with you. The last like stretch of road here is pretty sketchy. Like I went to the smooth road, not the bumpy road, or I don't even know if you'd call that a road. On the way here, and so yeah, I had to park pretty far away, so it was, especially with wind chills, that was not fun, especially going 2 trips to bring this Progen at it. Oh, by the way, I did get a Progen fursuit. I forgot to mention that since last time. So yeah, that's when I ran into these guys. But yeah, I'll let you guys start off with the water park part of this whole day.
Actually, before we do, I have a couple more driving stories that I kind of just remembered. So, when I was on the way here, I also went along the 5139, and around Stevens Point, I suppose there might have been an emergency, like someone crashed or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but there was traffic congestion for a while. It was like, I think, 2, 3 p.m., so not really a time for traffic to
Yeah,
be
you mentioned
congested.
that. You messaged that.
Yeah, I suppose it was cleared up at the time. Yeski and Stray passed by, but for me it was not too much of a setback, just a few minutes I lost there. Not a huge deal.
Yes, just
And then-
a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, and then like in the last few miles, in the last half hour of the trip, I had a bit of a scuffed route. It's like I had a few minor county highways.
I mean, I just took straight, like, I just took 94, like, straight from, like, where I live. I'm not going to disclose where I live, yeah, and it's basically, I just took the normal route for when I come down here, so it's basically just a straight shot down, but, with that, yeah, if you guys want to start off with, like, what, the initial water park, because that's going to be some interesting stuff, especially with what we talked about.
Interesting. But yes, let's actually go back in time a little bit to last night. After we got all settled in.
Are we going to go anywhere?
Yes,
Yeah.
eventually.
But, none pizza with left beef.
So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the nun pizza with left beef meme is,
Oh, God damn it!
so real quick history, I think about like 10 or 15 years ago when Domino's started the pizza configurator on their website, basically you could get away with pretty much anything you wanted, and there was a certain TV presenter, comedian, I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, except basically he wanted to see how far he could push it, so he did cheese none, sauce none, which is where none pizza comes from, and then beef only on one side, specifically the left. And there's this great picture of this haphazardly thrown together pizza. This is something that I only ever order on special occasions. This is my first con. It was a special occasion, so I had to actually drive to Domino's to get it because the app is dumb and didn't let me get it delivered here.
They don't deliver to the next block over. They're so lazy.
The unfortunate thing is, out of all the times that we've ordered an onion pizza with left beef, this was the first time that they called back within 2 minutes of us placing the order, asking us if we actually wanted that as our order.
It's never happened. The first 2 times they just didn't bat an eye, including the time that last year, was it 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
After homecoming, the time that me, Stray, and another friend of mine from high school walked into a Domino's at 11 o'clock on a Saturday, all wearing tuxes or suits or whatever, to pick up a nun pizza with left beef, and we're just chanting nun pizza left beef going back into the car. But this time was special because they called it asked. Anyway, before they get any more mad at me, let's actually go on to the water park now.
Yeah, let's move forward in time and talk about the present. Wait, was that the pizza in the damn fridge?
Yes,
The vertically stored pizza was the only one to get to fit in the fridge.
Why was that so funny? I don't get why that was so funny.
Unfortunately, we cannot show you a picture because this was an audio recording, but okay, water park.
Alright, so let's actually move on. Alright, so you guys can start with the water park. General overview of what it is, or just what you experienced there. Because I'm just going to say this before that, but I was basically like the ringleader with that. Like, I was just like, okay, we're doing this, and they were like my yes men. They were just like, okay, we're just going to follow you. And it was just hilarious in a sort of sense, but also kind of awesome to basically know that somebody actually wants to do something that I want to do. Because sometimes when I go to like Valley Fair, it's kind of like an argument of who wants to go on which rides, and of course, unless you buy like the fast pass, that thing, you're going to be waiting in there for like an hour just to go on like the high roller or something. That thing, and that's not even like one of the best things there. Granted, some people might think that, but so yeah, that's actually I I'm such a hypocrite. I am such a hypocrite. But yeah, go ahead with the water park.
Ah, yes, we shall become water park critics.
So, the water park, I personally thought it looked pretty impressive from the outside, but then it looked less impressive once we got inside. But then it started to get more impressive again once we actually started going on the things, and my expectations kind of went back up again, and I actually ended up being pleasantly surprised, especially given how cheap it was for us to go here.
Yeah, cheap being like an asterisk. That thing.
There's a Kalahari in this town. This is considered cheap.
Yeah, this is very
Yeah,
much
it's
considered
like
cheap.
96, I think. I think with the wilderness, it's like $225 a night. But that's for like the condo suites. So that's like, I mean, they're around like the same price, like $10, $20 differences between places. But I mean, in my opinion, you get the best bang for your buck at the wilderness. But I'm not sponsored, and so. But yeah, continue with that.
You want to start rating individual slides?
Okay, so rating each individual slide is going to be a bit more difficult, but the one I want to focus on specifically is the toilet bowl one. Despite the fact that Storm Chaser warned me on multiple occasions that that was the one that we were going on, I didn't realize that. And unlike some water parks where you can actually tell that's the one it is, it was either built into the wall or it was outside or something, so I actually couldn't tell. So I go on the slide, and I'm just going down, minding my own business, and it's picking up some speed pretty quickly, and so I'm already decently impressed by this slide, but then it goes into this giant enclosed, more or less pitch black, just giant donut, and I just scream on the top of my lungs, oh shit, because this is not what I saw coming, and I actually ended up going out the end backwards, but that's like the one part of the experience I am used to, so.
What, did you
that was not screaming.
Did you hear me screaming down there?
Yes, I did. Once by the time we got to the last slide, Emerald Falls, whatever it was called, I was actually going like, okay, who wants to take a guess? How long will it be before we can no longer hear your screams echoing through the tube? The answer was about 15 seconds.
Yes, we did time it.
Very roughly, but
Yeah.
Oh no, I ripped the poster! Shit!
I'll buy another one.
Nice.
Damn, that's
Honestly, the toilet bowl one, that was quite interesting to go down there and double tube.
Yeah, because I've never, normally when you go on those toilet bowl ones, it's either a single tube or at the very least it's one of those 4-tube ones, so it's still vaguely circle shaped, but this is like long way, so I've never really experienced that in a donut before, and so we're going around in circles in it, and at one point, we start going around in circles, and at one point the back end starts kind of like kicking itself out, and I'm not used to like this form of spin in a long tube, and it just, the math didn't work in my head, and I kind of started freaking out.
Physics stopped working.
Yeah, physics, sometimes physics just kind of disagrees, or at the very least I disagree with it.
You guys came flying down that. Wait,
absolutely,
did we
yeah.
do that?
Yeah, we came up pretty fast on the end, that's because I was waiting 2
I
people.
already forgot.
Was it you that we went together on the Oh my goodness, we came flying down there.
That
Flying.
was quite fast. I will say, that's the one thing these slides have. Because of the pretty aggressive drop in some spot, I managed, a bank was so aggressive and so fast. The only thing stopping was the fact that my feet were extended. I actually almost ended up reversing myself in a single person slide.
How?
Because I hit a corner really fast at a weird angle, and it started like twisting, and it started rotating the tube quite aggressively, but I had to kick myself back in with my feet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could have gone more times. We went around 4 times, I think I counted. 4 times. I guess you guys didn't count. But actually,
It's a wild card.
I think no, we went around
5, because there were 5 slides.
what?
We went on each one once.
Oh, I thought you meant 5 times around the bowl. I was gonna say how did you?
Oh, I see what you're talking about now. Okay, continue.
But yeah, like I could tell right as we like hit that corner, I was like, oh, this is much faster. Or right when we were going into that, it was just like, okay, yeah, this is definitely faster. This is definitely faster than before.
Yeah, doing that in circle.
But I mean that one, we have to talk about the water coaster because that was the first one that we went on. You can start with that one because you were, I think, the first one's on.
The mage one?
The water coaster.
Yeah, the water coaster.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones on that one. You guys went seconds, I think, on that. And we're not going to leave you to feel about that. You know, everybody deserves a switch.
not a very talkative person anyway. So I did not expect that the water coaster, it's titled The Fly in Mine, would be that fast. But I found it quite exhilarating. Then again, it's been a couple of years since I've been to a water park, so it's pretty easy to exhilarate me. I believe I went with Stray down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it was Storm and Yeski, then Stray and myself. And I don't remember exactly how Stray responded, but I was kind of just laughing all the way down.
No, I was laughing my ass off too.
It was, again, it was really fun.
Like, I mean, that thing has some kick to it. Like, I mean, because like there's two different types of water coasters. Like you told me, there's one that has jets and one that just has conveyor belts, which is basically what this is. And the Wilderness has this like a conveyor belt literally on the lazy river that brings you up and over something onto like a second level or something. And I still don't know why that's a thing. But and they have a water slide incorporated into the lazy river as well. So it kind of drew back those memories of those, basically that feeling. Because like the first one, it was just kind of like, you could gradually adjust. It wasn't just like a shock to your system. You could adjust to that launch a bit. But yeah, you could just, like here, it's just like winding up, it's just like, and then, boom, and that sound effect, just you were off. And like once you got to the top of that first hill, it just kind of like slowed down like very dramatically, and it was just like, oh, that's it. But then when you went down, and then you just kind of get jolted forward on that first uphill, or the second technically, and then after that one, it's just like you kind of get some weightlessness, and then just kind of glide up that third one and around, and I think there's 4 uphill sections, and I think the 4th one was kind of similar to the second one, and then of course that's when the braking ends. I got yelled at by a lifeguard for putting my hands up on my last round. Ironically, being a lifeguard, I can see why. And I also did get yelled at for going in the water when I shouldn't have, because you know a girl was basically floating away into the slides, line of fire, and they tried to get basically instincts was to, oh, let's go, like, to stop them. Because I worked at the bottom of the slide where I work, and I hated it. I didn't like getting wet.
And yet you were a lifeguard?
What?
And yet you were a lifeguard?
Well, I don't like
You've been
it.
a water park and you're a lifeguard, you don't like to get in the water because you know it's so dead.
Well, it's just,
Yeah.
Okay.
well, actually, no, it's not getting wet. On some days when it's very cold, it does mine. But basically, it's a body slide, so we can we as lifeguards sometimes put we just have our little rescue tube thing, and some people like to be quote unquote caught. So what that means is we put the rescue tube at the end of the slide, and they put their hands out like in front of them like a Frankenstein or something, and they're basically for like little kids who can't really touch the bottom, but fit the height requirements. And basically, then they just run into the tube and we catch them. So that's basically what it is. It's just so annoying how many people I had to catch. It got super annoying. Like, just let me with my thoughts and just watch you guys go down the slide. It's just, I didn't like it. And sitting like you may think oh, the sun will dry you off, but we were in the shade, which was the saving grace, and sometimes it was just like there were so many things with the bug. We'll talk about that soon enough in due time. But so the other slides, let's talk about the Mad Racers, because that was the only one that we went on once, I think.
Yeah, we did that one only once.
Well, we also only did the regular body slide on
Yeah,
once.
the one that went kind of straight down.
Yes, because we were running low on time, wanted to try and do everything.
Yeah, for the Fursuit parade thing. But yeah, so at first, of course, I kicked ass at that. Because he didn't launch off, or which one was...
No,
Yeah, like-
I did not launch off,
You didn't
but
launch
even
off,
then,
because-
it was still very underwhelming.
I mean, I had a false start too.
You false started, Storm just went full on, just like,
Just
launch control.
You guys haven't rode many of that, so you don't know what's up with
Yeah,
that.
I tried to launch, it did not go well.
But yeah, you kind of fail, because basically you kind of have to land on it. I landed straight down on the place where I don't want to land on.
Oh, that's fine.
And yeah,
This is the first time I'm hearing
but
this.
you want to hear the kicker? The map then slid, so I was basically rubbing my elbow into the little divots in the slide. And so then I finally got on, and I still won. I still take pride in that.
Victory scars.
Yeah.
Victory
Stick to
scars.
race cars.
No, I said not stick to race cars. I said victory scars.
Oh, I thought.
How did you get that wrong?
I mean, okay, to be fair, if you completely
Why-
forget the victim part, then you hear race cars, which sounds awfully similar to race cars. So I don't blame you for not getting it, but
Yeah, but
At
you
the
didn't,
same time.
you didn't question
Yeah,
it.
but context of the situation.
That's
Context.
right.
I
The fact
thought
that
you
you
said
didn't
stick
question
to
that.
race cars because racing maths. I thought. Ah!
Trying to attach the strings to his logic.
So, anyway, back to the roller coaster thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about landing on my balls.
No, we're not going back to that.
You guys moved on.
So, I know about that. So, one thing, you made a say 3 a few minutes ago. One thing that Straker did actually point out, or told me earlier, apparently there is actually a third kind. There are apparently ones powered by linear induction motors. How that works with water, I'm not sure. So, for any of you who are curious how it works, Lucas will actually, you can Google it yourself.
You could just Google it yourself.
Just Google it.
Yeah, just Google it yourself.
Somebody is dying. Oh, just Google it yourself. Oh, yeah.
Well, this isn't, well, we're not talking about death.
this
We're
isn't
talking
a
about
emergency
physics.
because it's literally how magnets work. I believe that's available.
What is the context?
You see, it's
When
called-
you talk about magnets.
They just throw a metal slab in the bottom.
It's effectively a maglev water roller coaster, which is a sentence I've only said once today.
A magnetic water coaster?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not the first sentence you've said ever? Or the first time you've ever said that sentence?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
What are you trying to do over there?
I'm trying to blow my donuts. Don't leave me alone.
No.
your donuts
I
are
was thinking about taking the
This is
words.
hemorrhoids are flaring up. He's just donut pillow.
to be fair, this is an 18 plus,
So,
so
are we done with the water park, or does anybody have anything else they want to add?
no.
Because we really weren't there for that long.
You know, we weren't there for that long. We
Yes.
kind of
Okay.
ran through it.
But I do want to add one thing. Basically, I talked about this while we were waiting for Jungle Adventure. I think that's the one with the toilet bowl. But basically, all right. It was basic. This is a candle holder. I did not notice that. You put your things in it. That is actually, I did not notice that.
Anyway.
Congratulations.
All right, back.
You know that's also made we put the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put the water in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to put the water in it.
Oops.
Yeah, gotta check.
And so back. There goes Ray.
Where were we?
So back to that. So I was on a cruise. They have this private island with this water park that has the tallest water slide like in North America. And so basically, I think it reaches up to 60 miles per hour at its top speed. And it's called Daredevil's Peak. And it had a 2.5-hour wait, and I waited every second of that. I didn't care, because I wasn't going back to that. We don't go on cruises often, so I wasn't leaving without doing that, because I did every single slide, and and right when I was kind of intimidated by just how tame it looked from the top, because you see a lot of normal body slides, and they just seem tame, but this one, I was literally, right when I went down, I was just like, oh, it's not this bad, and I was just, I knew it was going to get worse, and then, I just immediately just went to a 45-degree angle, just pinned against the side of the slide, And you do know that there was no water that was coming down the sides. It was just straight down. So I was like scraping my back against the side of the slide that wasn't like didn't have any water on it. I was just like, oh, please let us end this game painful. And finally, when it did look like, I was just happy to get off that because besides scratching my back with that, like I give it like at least like an 8 or 7 out of 10 with that. But that just reminded me of that. But there was also one slide. It was a normal body slide when they're really partying down there.
Oh boy. I wonder
So-
how it's being picked up on the mics.
What?
I wonder how it's being picked up on the mics.
Probably very
So basically, it's basically just a normal team water slide with a sort of drop to it. That one's it's kind of a good one, but and the other one's Emerald Falls and Ruby Run. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Ruby Run, I think, was the one that surprised me. I think hello there. Because Emerald Falls was kind of just more of a simple one. And Ruby Run, I think, was the one that kind of shocked me the most. They sort of, like, the turns and stuff kind of threw me off guard. But I saw the big drop on Emerald Run, so I knew it was coming. But it was crap. It wasn't really big of a drop. It was just, ugh. And we didn't even hit the kids area. God damn it.
So I'm not much of a contrary, but I
Kids
just...
area as in the part with the basketball hoops.
Probably.
Yeah.
We didn't try those slides. Damn.
Yeah, we forgot to torment the
To be
children.
fair,
Yeah,
none
yeah.
of us
We
were
were running
children.
low on time, so like the 3 of us wanted to kind of stay behind and do it, but at that point we decided actually no, we want to go watch the thing. So we ended up leaving, and we haven't not been back to the water park since.
Yeah, I got
Well,
here
except for that one.
Monday because I was doing a whole week vacation. I went there Monday to test it out, and then of course they said, "Oh, it's like, oh, water parks aren't going to be open Tuesday through Thursday." It's like, what the fuck do I do for that? So when I'm walking around there, it says like, "Do you guys have a hot tub here?" I said, "Yeah, but it's down close for maintenance."
Yeah,
So it's like, well, then I went to this one out here, Hot Springs, which was.
Yeah, that was been on their website for like a month, like saying that it's been closed for maintenance. Like I can't really tell you anything about that because we used to have a dog bone where I work, which is basically a big inflatable dog bone. But apparently some kids decided to go into the park after hours and punch a bunch of holes into it. And so yeah, they still aren't found and they're still acquired. So anybody with information, please contact Oakland PD. I would very much appreciate it. So, that's I'm gonna leave that out. That's water parks. That's it.
So this isn't the Furcast for nothing. We should probably talk about furry stuff now. Like the fursuit parade.
Yeah, let's move on to the next part of the day.
Yeah.
So that's mostly your part. I just kind of watched and talked with somebody that I sit next to.
Yes, you were fishing.
Hey, you fucking mind?
Anyway,
Hey, keep it down there, hey!
you know
This is like Canada.
and we're on the clock. Tell the story.
When Canada talks to America, hey, can you keep it down there, hey?
Pretty much, actually, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that.
God.
Oh, wait, that's actually
This part of your head is not separating the bottom half of your head when you say talking a Canadian accent.
No, not the actual.
Oh, I thought you meant this.
South Park reference.
Oh, they said the head.
Oh, you
Canadians, how their head costume comes off.
Oh.
Why did you remind me of that? No.
One day in the TV room, they ran a South Park marathon the entire day.
Really?
Yeah, it was South Park one day, Cleveland show another day.
This is
MTV, all they ran was ridiculousness on there.
Oh my
That
God.
was just straight bad.
Man.
Anyway, fursuit parade.
Oh wait, no, that's Rick and Morty.
I was gonna say where am
I hate Rick and Morty. I think it's the stupidest show ever, right behind The Office.
Well, to be fair, they did a rather high IQ not over that.
Literally, the only reason that Peacock took off was because they were the only platform that had The Office on. because Netflix decided to basically put themselves to suicide by taking that off, and Peacock took off because of that. Just because they had The Office.
That's
Even
pretty
though you
good.
could zoom, even though you could watch it with NordVPN. Definitely not.
You know, I actually agree with Rain. Can we go on to the Fursuit Parade, please?
Yes.
Oh yes.
It is almost 11.
So I came in right when they were taking the photo because we didn't find, well, mostly because I took a little too long with trying to get this little boy set up, especially with hiding the wires, which is kind of annoying, I must admit.
Yeah, I was standing right next to you, watching you put your face on.
Witness.
Okay,
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
flex, but okay. So basically, well, first of all, the magnets on these, I'm missing two. This is the only one that actually works. So basically, we had, I'm going to get to that, but we did fix it eventually. So my visor would flop up and down because there wasn't any magnets. So it was basically flopping. So that was fun, especially with trying to, the photo. And I was just going to stand off to the side like, hey, I'm just here. And then finally someone was like, hey, are you going in the Fursuit Parade? I was like, yeah. And so like, yeah, you go right over there. And like there was, like I'm the tall one in my family, but I felt like an absolute like midget.
Yeah.
So I was standing right next to you. I remember that. It's like they shoved every tall person in front of me, and the camera was on the exact side of the room. It's like, oh.
Yeah, just raise their paws up in the air, and literally someone was like doing this like in front or something, or they were like moving their ears slightly to when the picture was being taken to where it would block the camera, and I was just moving that, and they would always move their ears. It was just like this back and forth, like back and forth. It was just, oh, that was so annoying, and I don't even know if it's gonna be.
If they would have did something like the people at Furry Migration did, where everyone lined up, piled in the lobby, and some person went to the fucking third floor balcony and took literally an aerial shot of everyone.
Or like
Oh, that would have been awesome.
or 360.
They did two things. They did that one, and then right before they began, they did
360 camera.
360 one.
That one is more
But
effective.
the thing is, they have access to that little booth, like on the top.
We know that
They
because
could've
the
taken-
scaffolding sticking out of it.
Yeah, no, they could have taken a top-down shot.
There really wasn't a whole lot stopping them. Anyway,
Moving on.
we mentioned how we had to kind of eventually fix the visor issue. How we actually ended up doing that was thinking of any source we could to try and find tape, not including the Walgreens that we forgot to go to. So we actually ended up asking our waitress for a roll of tape while we were going out to lunch.
Yeah. No, that was-
Surprisingly, that worked.
Yes, it was high strength enough to work, more importantly low strength enough to where it didn't damage the paint. That was a concern.
Well, I also just like kind of stuck it on the table a bit too.
To weaken it a bit. But before that, before we had that, and while it was still a risk for the visor to fall off, it did. While we were in the basement at the arcade.
Oh my
hanging out with
gosh!
Some of the children.
Oh, I remember that. That was in like I was like shooting downstairs at the arcade, and it wasn't taped on just yet.
That's what I said. That's like before we taped it, this happened.
And like literally, I was just trying to like bonk it back into place, and literally the next thing I know, while I was trying to get the air,
It's all in the air hockey tape.
like I was trying to play with the air hockey puck, and like literally all I just see is just it flip off, and they're like, oh, I was just like, oh crap.
So I had to put it back on, which I will admit I did not do a great job of doing quickly or well.
Yeah, and so, yeah, they were, as soon as I went back down after we ate, they're like, yeah, that's a real person. I was just like, no, it's ruining the magic. That is,
That arcade over there sucked. They had no game like it.
Oh no, not
Okay.
that. No, we were at Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
But if you're ever in the Dells, Moose Jaw. The mozzarella sticks are great. They can vouch for the pizza and their Alfredo
I was
sauce.
just talking about that one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that
I-
arcade it's second.
It's not very good. And I can only assume that the Alfredo sauce is in-house. It's great. I had chicken and shrimp in mine.
but,
No, I was gonna tell you why it sucks because there's no ticket games that can easily win versus the one.
Yeah, they're basically
I
all-
even bet that crossing go game all day and beat the jackpot every single time.
yeah,
Oh,
that's,
is it really that easy there?
I'd imagine it takes
they
some
have a
skill.
system so like I remember one day like the high score was like 111 jumps and I actually got to like 112
Yeah.
and died the next time. Again, this is the first time I ever broke it. Then the score immediately went up to 121. So basically, it would always end at a 1 for the next high score, whether or not you beat it by 1 or 10. So I just kept doing that and dying the next possible jump, and I just kept beating that same score over and over again, getting the easy 1,000 tickets every time.
Honestly,
You actually played the system, wow.
It's like, first thing I do there is I scouted every game. It's like, okay, which game can I easily win?
I'm so glad I'm not the only person who thinks like this.
yeah, because there's.
Well, no, because you go to these things, like, all these things are big flashy lights. They're just there to get your money. It's like, you actually got to figure out which game to play to get the most tickets. So that one and Cycle, I usually do that to the timing of the lights spinning around and around.
That one's, I think, kind of semi-rigged-ish.
They're all kind of semi.
That's
I
kind
think
of how
that's
arcades get
100%
money.
skill, I think. I can't remember which one.
Pop the Lock is almost entirely skill.
Yeah,
skill.
I think it's most,
Maybe.
actually, no, it isn't. Sometimes it switches sequences, but I think it's mostly.
My point is, there's no it's all skill as determined. It doesn't try and screw you over if you tap at the right time, kind of like how Stacker will. As long as it can't switch up the sequence, but in terms of actually getting the tap at the right time, regardless of what the sequence is, that part is entirely skill. I can actually vouch for this.
I mean, it's not like Keymaster rigged where it's
Yeah, it's not it's not rigged.
hundreds of dollars literally before it goes to skill mode. And even then,
Even that is actually pretty hard.
There was one time where I actually hit the payout for Keymaster and won the top prize at my second attempt.
What was it again?
A pair of Beat Solo, first gen Beat Solos.
Do you still have them?
No,
that was my question.
because my mother stepped on them, and because
Oh
they're
my-
beats, they snapped in half.
That happened with me, with my pair of headphones. I was at this Christian retreat or something at ironically a water park. It was an overnight thing. I left my headphones on the ground, and they literally stepped on them, just full on stomped on them. I was like, you can't see the freaking blue headphones right there. I was so mad, and they still somehow works. It just it wouldn't go on. The plastic broke, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
And we tried to fix it with duct tape, but obviously that doesn't work. So yeah, we just ended up just throwing it away. But they still technically did work. So I mean, if you wanted to, but yeah. What were we talking about?
We were just kind of going through the day, but in the wrong order. So let me think. So
Arcade.
we got to that. So really, the next notable thing, we kind of just existed for a bit. Unless you want to talk about the arcade.
Oh,
Prototype
yeah.
on the motorcycle.
No, and then
So for context, those the motorcycle racing game things where you lean. Have you ever done one of those? So you can take it from here. Unless you don't really want to talk about it, there's nothing much to talk about.
So
I feel like our non-visual lens is missing a lot of context throughout this entire
I'm literally just holding a donut inflatable that's like a can cozy. So that is my meme
It's
for
not
the day.
like it is. It's a can cozy from the pool.
Exactly.
Oh wait, well sorry, Mr. Lawyer.
Anyway,
I like.
do you want to continue talking about the arcade? If not, we can always move on to
I
next.
still can't hear.
Well,
I said I like you.
Jesus,
Sorry, that was a bit too loud, wasn't
don't
it?
do that.
Don't.
Good Lord. So, should we? I think we'll.
No.
No. I'm just saying. We were originally gonna do this thing. This is for audio folks. This is Bob Ross made your own gummy kit. You could do anything here. The only prerequisite is that it makes you happy.
There is another prerequisite though, and what is that?
So, a microwave.
Yes.
Or a stove is required. So, bye-bye.
I was rather tempted to run back to my room and take the microwave, because it's just a tiny little microwave.
So,
Granted, the hotel probably would have been
later in the time,
yeah.
later in the podcast, instead that we bought some Bob Ross Positive Energy Drink. That is
Did you
gonna.
say Bob Ross Positive Energy Drink?
Yes, that
we
is
did.
literally the name. Forgot the cups.
Water cups, hold on.
Okay, bye.
You won't be there.
All right, see you in a couple minutes. So,
Just a couple seconds.
Yeah, when I went to that arcade games too, I didn't get a lot of stares from all the little kids.
jeez. Oh, there goes my
Okay, stop. Please stop doing whatever that is.
clip. Please stop doing this. All right, so we're gonna do that later in in the podcast.
Records up pressing buttons?
No.
So, I don't know, should we actually do that now? Or
Let's crack open a cold one.
crack open a cold one?
Disclaimer.
I'm pretty sure it's room temperature.
Yeah, disclaimer. One, that's probably the case, and two, this is not beer.
Wait, so it's just cotton milking
Oh, that's ASMR for you boys.
Cracking open a
But
cold.
what are you going to talk about after this? Let's think about that first. You want to go straight to dance house? Pretty raspberry.
Yeah, let's just go straight to the dance.
That's an interesting story. Stay tuned for that one.
Oh, actually.
Well, okay, not the dance house specifically. It was the charity dance song, but it was still.
Why is this blue?
Really?
So we're gonna taste this at the same time.
Because reasons, that's why.
So you may
Looks
have
like-
done
It
your
looks like I'm
masks,
gonna drink some fucking
It
Clorox
looks
toilet
like
cleaner.
the pool water drink they were serving.
Is this like?
No, this looks like Clorox toilet cleaner shit.
So-
If I drink this, I'm gonna die.
It looks like blue gel from here. From
So all right, so
It's
you
got that
can
nice
temporarily undone your masks.
True.
All right.
No, I remember Blue Dog
All
soda.
right, ready? 3, 2, 1, down the hatch.
Oh, that is strong. Oh God.
Boy,
Oh.
that's good.
What in the fuck is that?
But
That don't
yeah,
feel positive.
It's something.
yeah, can you get more of that?
You know what? I actually don't mind it. It's not. I wouldn't choose this as my first choice of drink.
Okay, so now that we've decided that the energy in this may or may not be positive, let's talk about some actual positive energy in Bob Ross things real quick. And pointing out the fact that Bob Ross probably would have really liked Minecraft.
Present.
Thank you.
So never again.
Is it just weird or during quarantine I binged Bob Ross? Like, oh my gosh.
I feel like we all need the positive energy when quarantine happens.
Yes, you get it.
No, people say if you ever want to do something exciting, go watch paint dries. Like, I can watch paint dry from Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah. I could watch Bob Ross all day.
Amen to that.
I should actually do that though.
May you rest in peace in the cosmos. Let's pour one over for him.
No.
I don't think the hotel would like a big blue stain there.
Yeah,
Neither do
no.
I.
Asshole.
Put the cup down. Put the cup down.
Some furries say that their cum is different colors, so it's like it's possible it could be jizz.
Alright, see you next time.
I mean, there was a fursuit meet.
What did you
so-
say?
Yeah, you know how many people showed up for it?
I actually
No,
can't.
how many people showed up?
For the actual panel, there's a bunch of people in the back just taking pictures.
Yeah.
Just pictures. They weren't here for the actual fursuit meet. There's about 4 or 5.
Okay, so before
Well,
we
there
go
were
on,
only 4 or 5. Okay.
so before we go on to the dance comp, I do actually want to point out we actually came in here the other day, yesterday, to try and work out what exactly we may or may not need. In order to try and make all of this work properly, which ended up not working out. So it makes it even more frustrating that I realized a couple minutes after I decided I should probably leave, I remember what time it was when I was looking at the schedule the other day. I went, oh wait, that's what was on the schedule.
Yes, we literally
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it
we
rehearsing.
walked in right on the Fursuit meet.
Yeah.
Trying to inspect the audio equipment.
So that was interesting.
Quite.
So thankfully, hopefully, I am not on the internet and in the background of any of those pictures, but a lot of the pictures are happening there, and the audio is here. I understand that makes no sense to audio people.
Okay, I would know I was there.
Alright.
Nothing really happened.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
That we didn't. I don't think we ever told you that story.
The bar at the car? Oh, no.
No, the story I just told.
Oh, no, you never.
Oh, how we watched it rehearsing.
Not necessarily. We walked in after, or kind of as it was ending, to try and inspect the audio, not realizing one event was happening.
Oh, boys, you're just.
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't go
Okay.
that badly, by which I mean it took me a few minutes to realize what was going on.
Yeah, everything was everything was covered. It was basically just mercy. It was basically.
There was only one person there wearing a sheep and balls.
Yes.
I saw that. I actually saw that. But
I'm so glad I
So it
did.
took me a few minutes to actually.
It was magnetic, so all she did was just pop it on the front.
Yeah.
Oh.
That explains.
When we first came in, I heard someone saying,
Because I did see
actually,
the
that's
next
not the
day.
panel, close the door. And it took me a
Because
while
I
to
did see the
realize
video
why.
today.
You close the door. The children don't want to see this.
Yes, that was actually the reason. Like,
Yeah.
in case children were worried.
Well, first of all, my question is, why are you disgusted by that?
Exactly.
I'm demisexual.
I was like, how are you just disgusted by me saying sheep and balls? I mean, you're fucking very
Well,
bad.
it's just like
I
like somebody
acknowledge
has
it
the
now
balls,
because of
no
this.
pun intended, to basically do that. Like, especially when it was like a non-nudity type thing. So I was surprised that thing was allowed.
I mean, not to mention this is literally an 18+ broadcast, so it feels ironic that you actually mind.
Oh no, see, for me, it was let down because the first convention I ever went to was First Square back in 2020.
Oh, boy.
Where all the shit hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Before the C word, which I think is absolute fucking hoax and fake.
What?
COVID. I think.
I thought you were talking about con.
It's a sham. I had COVID. I was only sick for 1 day.
Well,
Congrats, you got lucky.
politics and COVID, conspiracy and Alex Jones aside,
But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm getting to it. So the First Square, again, this is the first time I ever went to one there. And I'm glad that was the first one because that was fucking lit. Absolute enjoyment. That room was packed with people there.
Yeah.
This one was packed, but with only 4 people actually for the event, 4 or 5.
As you said, the rest were for pictures, right?
Huh?
The rest were for pictures, right?
I still can't hear.
I said the rest were for pictures, right?
Yes.
Jeez.
There's a big ass group standing in the back, which then the guy pointed out, it's like, if you're here for pictures, just go somewhere else.
yeah.
And then they went to the front room.
I don't think that's going to be the right place. I think this is basically like to just meet and talk about stuff.
Yeah, meet with 2 E's.
Yes.
Oh, why do you have such a dirty mind?
What also pissed me off is like, what same thing would happen in the First Square is like, they introduce saying, like, go around the room and introduce your story of how you got into this. It's like, well, I actually got into this fandom by going through Pornhub one day.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let me explain. So again, I'm at the era where I'm starting to realize I have something between my legs and it feels good, but I play with it. So I'm going through Pornhub one day watching regular videos, okay?
Yeah.
Then on the recommended for you, there's this thumbnail of a guy in a white and blue wolf suit fucking a guy in a puck mask.
Nice. Yeah, being curious and clicking
And
on it.
then it plays, I'm just sitting there, it's like,
This
That's
is something
hot.
enjoyable.
so again, I had no idea what that was, but then years later I come back, I see the same thumbnail, I was like, and everything falls into place, like, oh my god.
I've spoken to a few people with similar stories. Anyway, it's like 11:15. I don't really know how long we can go on for. So how about we move on
I
to
think it's 11:30.
So how about we move on to the charity dance-off? You actually competed in that, so how about you?
I sucked ass at that. That was
No,
You
Sean.
actually did pretty good. You got a really unlucky pairing. We'll touch on that in a minute.
Oh my gosh, that was just a journey and a half with that. That was just like the whole time my heart was racing and like I drank an energy drink beforehand just to get enough energy to do that.
I can
and
tell.
Energy wasn't the problem, it was thinking of freestyle dance moves because I'm the worst at improv dance moves. And I was going to participate in the dance comp, but unfortunately somebody got a little mad that I was going to be going here in the first place. So they negotiated to 1 day, which obviously prerequisites or prelims, happen today, and dance comp happens tomorrow. So I can't do that. So I decided to do the next best thing that I didn't do, but I just want to stick to a routine. That is more of something that
I did actually watch your video. I did actually like your routine.
I have to try it with my suit, but it's just like that was.
The fact that you managed to make a fedora wearing a prototype was actually pretty impressive.
That was very
It was just
impressive.
Party City. It was like $5. It was nothing. Like it was so cheap, but yeah. So like I was thinking of because I saw this show in Vegas called Michael Jackson 1, and they had this like scene basically where they used like the paparazzi, which Michael hated in real life. He didn't like being basically harassed by paparazzi and even wrote the song about it. So basically the paparazzi is represented as the evil or bad guys in this. Like they were like intimidating, like like flashing lights with cameras to represent that, and red capes and everything. And they were basically the good guys were basically like they were like Michael Jackson, but in different forms. They were male, female, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They were just basically like if Michael Jackson like put his soul into that person, and they were like wearing like white uniforms and of course fedoras, and there was this scene where they were basically like dance fighting, where one was like pushing back the other, yeah, it was just yeah, it was just one of my favorite shows in Vegas. Actually, no, scratch that.
Nice.
Good
Or
job.
stage just play as like, oh, hold on.
Is that our cue to move on to the actual wrestling competition?
Do we execute prisoners in this country anymore?
Alright, yeah. So let's move on to the
Yes.
actual dance competition.
Okay, so TLDR, he ended up getting really unlucky because he got paired in round 1 with the person who ended up winning.
Yep.
So it's actually interesting because while they were trying to find, a couple of my friends that are here were trying to find the guest of honor event, they ended up not finding that, but somehow ended up in the basement, in the pool toy room. Yes, that was a thing. Look up the information on one of the guests of honors. And we actually ended up running into a squirrel. Actually,
The blue and white one?
Yeah.
yes. What's
That?
Yeah. We
No, I was like, that fucking squirrel during the first 2 games, that bitch had me pinned against the wall for doing chasing the light.
Oh.
And I was standing there, I was one of the first ones to get there. All of a sudden, some person just comes in and just fucking puts their hand there and just leans against me. And I'm standing there, it's like, can you get off me? It's like, no, nothing happened. And then I was eliminated next round because that bitch just went all the way on me.
So,
Oh my god.
the conversation.
She's a minor, you know that.
I don't care, she made me lose.
She's a kid.
She made me lose, she's a bitch.
Point is, he ended up running into her first, Horizon. Her, she, her, I don't know. She, her,
That's very
both.
So
Anyway, let's go with she. Anyway, he ran into her first, and she was.
I think she's actually not binary.
That's a good question. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Let's just refer to them as
They.
yeah. So
So they're talking with Stray, and we're just talking. We were originally going to go back down to that room later, except it closed about the time that we started. But then we also went to the charity dance competition. That they were actually competing, and so this was actually this person's first con dance competition of any kind, and they signed up yesterday, very last minute, and especially for someone with not a lot of experience doing this on the floor in suit, like, it's one thing to be able to dance well in Furry, being able to actually kind of move yourself despite the fact that you're surrounded in all of that synthetic fur on the inside, and it's scratchy as hell. But the other thing is actually being able to take advantage of the fact that that is what you're doing, and instead of just kind of moving yourself while there also happens to be a fursuit around you, actually kind of using the suit as an extension of yourself and recognizing kind of how the joints are going to end up flowing. And that is what definitely set them apart in that competition. I mean, everyone was very good. I'm honestly really surprised that they were able to beat the one guy who was out of suit and just going absolutely crazy, high energy at everything.
yeah, he smoked everybody, and I was very convinced when Horizon went up against that. I was just like, oh,
I could tell that I was nervous.
I'll take your suit if you don't make it through this, because you're just gonna get absolutely shredded over there. You're gonna get smoked.
I'd only known this person for a few hours at this point, but honestly, I feel like a proud parent. It felt like one of those moments. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Her mom is actually.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
aware.
her
I am
family
aware
is
of
here.
that. I am well aware of that, and personally, this person is going places.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, especially once they're able to get into some actually like decent dancing competitions.
Because the MFF competition is 18 plus, and I think their birthday is in 2022. So
MFF, when it comes to all those stuff, that's like the pro league.
Yeah, it is.
I was thinking about going, but to do that, but I mean, I only do dance routines once. I don't want to do repeat routines. I was just like, I've accepted that if I go there and do the dance competition, I'm just doing something that I don't care, like that I know I'm going to not win in, because because they have like pros in there, like Strobes, Fluke.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I was going through Twitter one day, and I saw fucking Fluke post his at the big little Furcon. It's like, oh, hey, here's my dance routine for the future competition. It's like, okay, flex much.
Yeah, like absolute flex.
And I'm surprised.
So another just kind of mild, funny, quirky thing about the fact that it was a charity dance competition. So, how it works, the judges vote, but because it was raising money for a bird sanctuary, I think, you could also just kind of sway the vote a little bit by chipping in money. The thing is, I didn't have any small bills on me, so I actually had to go to the little t-shirt stand outside of the bar and ask if I could get 21s. Surprisingly, they did actually have 21s in the register, so I was just getting like $1 or $2 there, pretty much any time I wanted to vote, and I just got the stack of $1 bills in my hand sitting 4 rows back in the dance comp. So I'm just here flexing my $1 bills. It looks like a lot, it's in reality, it's like 18 bucks.
Making that money, brother. But, so yeah, they were...
What do you mean? They just making the money the hard way.
Yeah.
They're dancing for your ones. I mean, what's so different about that? It's like it's normal day.
Dancing for your month, that sounds... Moving on. So that guy was absolutely cooked. He was just like absolutely
like someone who could very well make it in an MFF dance competition.
Oh, he's going places.
Apparently,
part of a dance like a
literally today, he was announced the winner of a much larger online dance competition and ended up going out to the semifinals in this.
Yeah, it's like I literally thought like as soon as I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna hurt. I knew they would have won.
Oh yeah.
Here's my question: what did the winner win for the dance competition?
It's just a charity event, so nothing.
Yeah.
It's just,
I was gonna say the lip sync contest. The dance competition won a dildo.
Oh yeah.
Why? That's
So I was just curious of what the dance winner won.
it's just a charity event. You don't expect to get anything.
There was another dance competition.
the fact that a kid won this makes that statement so much worse. It makes it
No,
so
it makes it 10 times better.
But no, what was weird? What was weird about
Actually, shut up.
What was weird about the fact that the grand prize was a dildo was that the guy talking about it was speaking of it like it was some super rare ultra Pokemon card. He describes like this thing sells out within seconds. I was really surprised I got one. First of all, I missed the name, so I can't even look it up if this is supposed to be good, like customer reviews on it.
Oh, you want my reverse holo Mew? I got a rainbow Charizard for you.
Like, this thing sells out within seconds. It's like, okay, is it a dildo or a Pokemon card?
How about both?
Both.
The Pokemon cards.
Sometimes I question you, and by sometimes I mean often.
Well, first of all, it would surprise me if some dildos were modeled after Pokemon things.
Honestly, that definitely
Guarantee that it's happened at least once.
That definitely
Well,
exists.
first of all, you got how many canine Pokeballs out there? It's like, well, that's obviously a Rex.
Yeah.
If it's been thought, it's going to be fetishized at least sometime. It's
Rule 34.
Well, first of all, that's his own kink, it's Pokophilia.
Yeah.
that sounds wrong.
That's
Anything
weird.
with philia just sounds illegal. Which, yeah, some of it is. You know, I don't like saying those words. But yeah, some of those are illegal or at least very wrong. Like in terms of like those, like with like philia.
Yes, what you said sounds very illegal to him.
Illegal
I know a
bad.
lot of kinks, I read a lot of stories.
Yes, I see you do research.
I go to all sides, look at all the tags, how often puts in or people put in. It's like, okay, and then if you hover your mouse over it, it'll explain what it is.
You have way too much time.
You've gone through that and like learned
Hey,
about
it's
it.
so furry. I mean, I like to read. It's just I like to
You have way too much time during quarantine, bud.
Shut that Josh.
No, it's not just quarantine. That's just every day.
That's all the old
I have 200 tabs on my phone saved for different
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, right. Moving
200 different times. That's impressive.
Back to the dance comp because we were running out of time.
Yeah.
So with that absolutely insane thing, I was just like, oh, I feel so bad for them. It's gonna be just like I was just ready for like that they were all gonna go to the left.
And when I saw they were all with Furry, I was just like, what? Like,
Yeah, everyone lost their shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like everybody thought it was done and done, like with that, because like, but I think they just thought it was too much, like.
No. It wasn't that it was too much. Like it was the kind of thing where like it could go either way. That was a general feeling. It could go either way.
Because it was more like very fast paced, but they were all like bam, 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 bam. Like they were all with like they were very like those moves were very crisp. Even for Horizon, like they were with their one like with they were very smooth with that, but they were more slow paced. Yet like it was I don't know. It's just and right after that, I was just like, oh okay, yeah, they're gonna win. Because, like, at least, I just don't want to know that I lost to somebody. I lost to the winner. That's at least something. That's what I think of whenever, like, you know, the Packers lose to, like, you know, to like something in the Super Bowl.
No, sorry, I wasn't 49ers again. They lost to the Chiefs.
So at least they lost to the winner. That's what I think about it. At least that's a consolation.
Packers lost, like, they lost to a really shit team. Like, all teams were shit, so they were just a.
Hey, watch your fucking mouth.
Fucking do anything, Mahomes, that's trash.
So one of my original questions for you for the dance camp was going to be kind of what was your thought process when you had to go do the improv, but now I realize your thought process was just energy drink.
Yeah, that was actually my last thing. My thing was basically to try and try and moonwalk. That was my number one priority. But that floor is so garbage.
Yeah, that floor did have quite a lot of grip.
Yeah, but I did not pause, feet pause on with my last dance comp, which I almost moonwalked, but I moonwalked after. It was very easy because I had feet paws on. Same type of floor. But I had shoes on, so yeah, it was kind of a shock when I tried to moonwalk, and I was just like, kind of just scooching my
You're
legs.
trying to wipe that dog shit off your foot.
Yeah.
And of course,
Except it's just
Shut your mouth.
real good.
Of course, one of your feet paws, it's so much easier because at one point, Horizon just straight up, just before breaking into a robot dance, just straight up hitting it on a fixed point somehow.
Yeah, like actually broke physics.
Yeah, I personally disagreed with that because I kind of know how physics works.
That's basically what has happened. And I was so with this my suit for some final thoughts before we wrap this thing up. But yeah, so this whole thing, like this was just whenever I look at this suit, I just think of PTSD of what this thing, because this was finished in like late August. It was shipped out on September 2nd. And it just got to my house yesterday. And just for clarification, it was FedEx. So first they sent it to me and it came absolutely destroyed. The jaw was cracked, and some LEDs were seized by customs, and some of the wiring was even messed up. And I was just like, oh, this is too much for me to even think. And then I was just like, hey, can you help me out? And they were like to the maker, and they were like, sure, just send it back. And and I just like, of course, as soon as I posted a tweet about it, FedEx, with its auto response, is like, oh yeah, I see. I'm so sorry that you're dissatisfied with our services. Please accept our sincerest apologies. Fuck right off. Like,
They sent their apologies. I would send your apology when you take this shit.
and like I literally, they claimed that because this was a custom piece, that it had no commercial value. But if that's basically everything is a custom piece. It's just some are mass produced or some are more produced than others.
So they get shipping insurance.
Yeah, and they did, and they still refused to pay the real value of it.
Not even the insured value?
What?
Not even the insured value?
Oh, they refused to pay for it, and it's still ongoing. I was literally ready to hire a lawyer to go to small claims court with FedEx, because if they deny, because the box was wet and damaged, so some bullshit was happening, and customs even left a little sticker for me.
like just that says like inspected by customs. So yeah, they were nice enough to just take a look, and yeah, so FedEx threw customs under the bus and said that they were responsible for the damages and not FedEx. So then after that, I paid top dollar for the fastest shipping to get it here before this con. And it got here in the nick of time yesterday. Like, I was so happy. Because it was not only delayed with order again, because it was delayed with order initially for like 2 weeks because there was wrong documentation. But I just called them up. I was like, I need to have this bullshit. Like, and after 3 phone calls, they were like, okay, yeah, let's just get this done. So what's in it specifically? And I did that, and next day, it was released. And so then, yeah, after that, it was basically just, it said it was coming at the 11th, but it was still in Memphis. So I was like, yeah, it's not going to be here at that time. If it's not in Minneapolis, I doubt it's going to be there. But, so yeah, it was back, and I was so happy when it got there. Like, I literally rushed out of bed because I was just a little groggy from it, and I was super happy and so nervous to finally, like, just check everything. And still, it's not really 100% like the best. There's still like some of the glue is coming off, and some of the LEDs sometimes just don't work. But it's just yeah. It's something that I would need to confirm with what to do with the commissioner, because I don't want to. This is quad digits with this. This was $2,500 worth of stuff. Just this board right here, $2,500.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, and
No, I was just like, is it just for the head, or do you have a full suit?
no, just
Prototype heads are expensive. I've seen custom starting. I've seen custom prototype heads from like higher up makers starting at like $3,750.
yeah, like they're basically like
I wouldn't know those prices. I don't.
They're like the more for less for partials, basically.
Effectively,
But every time I see a more for less suit, I basically see somebody just flexing their money, like basically every time.
I did have I could have put in money for commission for one. I did have that amount of money. It's just that when I got the email saying, okay, yeah, we need half now, and you'll be put on a 2-year wait list. Like,
exactly.
I'm like, bitch, what?
Like exactly like they
I'm not giving you fucking $3,000, $4,000 now, and then wait for 2 years for you to start fucking building it.
like that's like not only that, but they said like I asked for a quote for how much my suit would cost. They sent an email back saying we can't estimate a quote until you're ready to pay for it. I was just like, why do I know what I'm going to? How am I going to be ready to pay something if I don't know the price?
I'm sorry.
First of all, just lie to us. Like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to pay. Then they'll say that much, and then you'll.
No, they're going to request. It's just.
No, I did the same exact thing when I emailed them for a quote. They said we'd be willing to pay. I said, well, first of all, I said yes, because I wanted to figure out how much I would be paying to start. And then they emailed me, and I just said, see you later.
That's my ultimate goal is to get a Thunder Hell and a Morpholess suit. Thunder Hell my main, and Morpholess for my secondary. But yeah, this was just basically a very expensive impulse buy, to be honest, because this is not my main persona, and like it's neat and all, but I mean it's not my main, so I mean it's just, especially with now that I'm wearing it and stuff, it's just kind of like, but I mean it's something, and I do think that I will be using it, but just not as often as I think. But so yeah, let's wrap up with the finals because we are already 5 minutes over, so we don't want to make Chewy any more angry, but I will
like to give him the mic.
So I will state this that I myself do have. I'm just gonna say like I met Chewy at while we were going on the rock water coaster, and of course like I wanted to establish common grounds because he's one of my people that I look up to in the fandom, especially at the local level. So I was like, are you Chewy? Because I recognize that face. I recognize that face from not only Addie Boyo's videos. Yeah, I think
that's the only one. I think Wolfenstein's videos as well, but basically I was just like, I recognize that face from YouTube. It was just like, hey, are you for the convention? It was like, yeah. I was just like, wait, are you Chewy? And it was like, yeah, I just wanted to confirm that it was who it was. So I just asked if they were the convention and didn't just say that they were saying. But yeah, just kind of went on a level because I already lost my voice, so I was just basically yelling. So I was just like, okay, well, you know, I just love your content on Twitch, and just yeah, it was just kind of weird at that point. But yeah, it was a little fun experience.
We do actually need to wrap this up because we've got to talk about cables back.
Yeah, that is so. Yeah, final thoughts. That this is. I think that this is a very good con. It just needs more publicity in that. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a secret.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
The devil's itself
here, but I guess we are out of time. This is my first con too. I may have mentioned this. I'm actually pretty happy with what I've done. I've missed several events I've meant to go to, but I feel like it's okay anyway because I've been having fun with what I have been to. So definitely considering coming again if I can scrounge up the funds.
But yeah, especially if we could direct heroes on.
I think first square for me, even though I do not regret going to it, I think that was a bad first con for me because that was my level of expectation. But then COVID hit and everything went down, which was the people are still like rebuilding and whatnot, trying to reestablish it. Now it's like, yeah, it's like they were good cons, but it's like at that level, that's what I'm expecting because everything about that thing like mostly ran perfect. Obviously not everything could, but it's just that's my level of expectation. I was like, I get this is a small one and I'm looking for a field where it's in the main city, but
Alright,
the devil's just a major area where it's not.
Yeah, so final thoughts for you guys before we wrap this up.
This is both his and I's first con. Honestly, overall, great experience. Thank you for dragging me to this.
No problem. I have absolutely no problem finding ways to get you to spend your money.
Yes, I do not like to spend my money.
Who was that on the flight credits? Just curious. Who was that on the flight credits for?
Well, I originally had some Delta flight credit. I was going to try and fly somebody in, but one thing after another, Delta weird contradictory definitions. I'm not going into it. We're going over.
Yeah, because so I mean, this has been a great event. So basically, hope that everybody like here, the one person that is here that stayed for this
Whatever this is.
I don't even know what it's called.
It's called Spooky Story Times on the website.
That actually was right before this. We had to move, a couple things got moved around last minute and the schedule didn't reflect it right away. You actually came in just after that.
Yeah. So
What was this panel then?
This was just a live recording.
you didn't even know this panel?
I came here where was I before this? I was down playing Jackbox.
Oh, that yeah.
So then after that, we started COVID, and by the time I got there, it's like, well, there's like still like an hour left. So I come to this part, and it's like.
So this was the Furcast.
I'm here, it's like there's no one here.
Woo! This was the Furcast. It was supposed to happen at 7, but then things got kind of scuffed.
Oh,
so
that's nice. Like, I was trying to check it out. It's like, why is there nothing? Oh,
Yeah, that's this now.
Yeah,
Long
the
story.
guy said it's like, yeah, we don't know the panel stuff. It's like,
I mean, they
Yeah.
really like. I talked with the event coordinator and I messaged him an hour or so. But yeah, we're just gonna end it here. So yeah. So thanks guys for listening for this, and thanks for everybody for making this possible, especially. So yeah, I guess we'll see you when we get back.
Thanks
when
for
we get back.
Thanks for having us, and thank you to the one audience member who was live, who's actually speaking a lot. I'm not sure if the recording actually caught what he said.
I think I picked up the Pornhub thing. I think.
Oh yeah, it definitely picked up the Pornhub thing, but seriously, thank you for interacting with us. You made this
That was
happen.
an absolute.
And you over there recording us, thank you for sitting through this.
Yeah. Thanks for
The
sitting
offer
through
is
this
a real
torture
opportunity.
hour. All right. Well, see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye. And
Cool.
all
Okay,
right.
now we have to move a bunch of cables around to the next
Yep.
one.
Yeah, all right. We have to.
All right.
Bob Ross box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that too.
Let's get on the way out.
Yeah, I need
Why should we
actually.
go in the first place?
I don't know.
He's weird.
Yes.
Oh no, he was. I think I said something that pissed him off, which I know I said a couple of times.
No, I think no.
He looked at me and he
it's
threw
more
like
like-
a frisbee.
No, that was just me. That was just me angry that we couldn't make it. So
Yeah,
that was
I
not.
was trying to do this have a source of heat?
Yeah, you do. You have a microwave. You guys just...
Yeah, okay, we have a microwave, but it's not in the room. We didn't want to go run and grab it.
No, I don't think you even can.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, this is...
Yeah, you can grab like we just unplug it and.
Well, yeah, I don't think they allow it.
Not yet, not yet.
So how are we gonna... Are you just gonna...
I'm exporting this to an MP3.
Okay.
Yeah, we can deal with data transfer.
But yeah, I have to...
You
like, I have to leave, like, here.
We have like no time.
Oh, I have no time. I'm supposed to, like, you know, left like 12 minutes ago, so my dad's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, fuck it.
So, like, give me something together.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting.
Send you all.
I'm trying to...
This thing is
I'm just
speed running through it.
Thanks for unintentionally going to our panel. The one thing that...
Yeah, you tried the $150 porterhouse in that restaurant?
We kind of wanted to go there, but we all decided even with separate checks, that was way too much for us to manage.
No, my reaction to that was the same reaction I did made for you. It was like, okay, see you later. Not eating this.
Don't get me wrong. They're probably good, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. This is long.
Yeah, this is like 45 minutes. Not 45. Yeah, this is legitimately like 45 minutes almost.
Like 45 minutes.
No.
Or 45 minutes in total.
No recording. It's encoding like 50 seconds per second.
Okay, I was...
Done.
Okay.
Oh, it's normalizing it. Okay.
Okay, it's a bit more than it has to do. It should take more than a minute.
Oh, I shouldn't have... Oh,
Because SSDs are pretty fast.
Yeah.
This
oh
is
wait.
why
At the very least, not unplugging this interface in the computer, but at least unplugging shit from the mics.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna have a second.
Oh, that's why this thing did the thing. Your chair got caught around the cable. I was wondering why this thing like got yanked.
Oh, this is rained off it, right?
No. Leave that there.
Oh, this is
that.
theirs.
That is the no.
That's it. I believe Mark's cable it was by the baggie, so this looks like mine.
Okay, but imagine if I just not ask and accidentally take it.
Oh, what place is open?
Silver Gatoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.